What if Gohan adapted Goku's lifestyle after the Cell Saga? What if he dedicated his life to being a complete bum and just mooched off his wife and just dedicated his life to everyday training like a true Saiyan? But that's what this video is going to be about. Just a little fun video about what went wrong with Gohan, because a lot of people really do not like this iteration of Gohan. This Gohan. And it is actually not their fault to blame, considering that Dragon Ball has told us from the beginning that this character has very high potential in being the strongest character in this franchise. But before we start the video, let's hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already, and hit that top notification bell so you can always know when my videos are dropping. Without further ado, let's find out what the hell they did to Gohan and what he would actually be like if he followed in his father's footsteps after the end of the Cell Saga. Now, a lot of people expect big things from this character, because we were told that this character has high potential, and we see that at the beginning of Dragon Ball. Now we have to understand that Goku and Gohan were raised entirely different from each other, and that is very important for Gohan's character development that we see later in the series. Now, Goku was born as a goddamn street kid. He was raised by an elderly old man, but once that old man passed, Goku became sort of a wild child, and he had to learn and find his own way. But he did learn how to be righteous through Gohan, but still he was a savage, a brute, which was a typical Saiyan male. But Gohan's upbringing was completely different. He grew up with both parents, like Clarence, in a good household, and he's introduced as a shy and quiet, polite kid that doesn't seem to like any type of violence whatsoever. But once we see Gohan get introduced with his Uncle Raditz, we learn that that is the complete opposite, and that this kid has some dormant powers that are hidden within him, and that we see it unleashed completely at full display once Gohan witnesses his dad being assaulted and hurt, which crushes Gohan's feelings and spirit. So pretty much we learned that Gohan is not actually a coward, that he's actually a protector and is willing to fight those that are being bullied. And Goku is not even aware of this, because Gohan is a kid, and this is the first situation that Goku has witnessed Gohan be involved as far as when it comes to combat. So Goku thinks Gohan is just a wimp and tells Gohan that dad is busy and dad is going to handle the situation, unaware that his son is not an actual wimp, but he's actually a protector and is not going to run away and is going to fight those that hurt those that he loves. That is an interesting opening for Dragon Ball Z and Gohan's debuts, and we expected more from this. We want to see him grow and we want to see his progress, and this only showed that he can keep up with guys twice his size, and that just made the watchability of the show go up even more. So we just seen a shift in just a few episodes from the quiet, shy boy that Goku introduced and tells everyone that he's not much into fighting because Chi-Chi won't allow him to fight. But in a matter of the next episode, we learn that Gohan is actually capable and that he is not just a regular boy. And he is able to hurt his Uncle Raditz, who at the time is displayed as a very omnipotent opponent. So we are expecting way more out of this character. We're expecting the trend to go upwards, but the thing a lot of people didn't realize is that Gohan fights between being a warrior and this. That is actually a homage to both sides of his parents, the yin and the yang, the warrior spirit of Goku versus the coddled, pampered, and being babied from Chi-Chi. So he's kind of fighting himself, because it's kind of as if he's two different people when you think about it. That's really what his character is based on. It's two different characters clashing it out, Yu-Gi-Oh style. That is why he's a special character, and when you understand this, you have hope that he eventually will break away or find a balance to maintain both of these personalities, where it's similar to Superman, the Clark Kent and Superman. He can be the non-violent peacemaker. When it's on to fighting, he can go on to switch on to his other side, his other personality that loves to fight. But this is something that he has completely lost in Super, and that kind of makes him a lost character, because you cannot have a character displayed in this manner as having so much potential potential within him, and then going back and forth to finally unlocking his true fighting abilities at the Cell Saga, to turning him into a scholar and what his mother actually wanted him to be. Now this character becomes extremely exhausting to deal with, because now that means that he lost complete influence from his father, everything that his father taught him in that entire saga, which makes it pointless and all for nothing. And that is what a lot of Dragon Ball fans, a lot of Gohan fans do not appreciate. And this is why this video is being made, because I don't think people will understand why it would not make sense for Gohan to transition into Goku. And here is why it would not make sense. For one, in order for Gohan to be able to take over as the #1 guy, he would have to completely ignore everything that his mother instilled in him, as far as it comes to being an earthling, as far as it comes to being a scholar and getting a good education. Gotta understand, Chi-Chi's already went through this with Goku, so she doesn't want Gohan to be the same way like his dad. This is a lot of things that people miss, that they actually live similar lives to us on Earth, and that you need a good job in order to support yourself, and fighting isn't going to do that. So Gohan would have to completely negate everything that Chi-Chi taught him. And that would even mean that he would not even have met Videl. Because you think about this, that means he wouldn't even go to school anymore. So it would be most likely that he would never even meet Videl, and that he would probably be alone until he meets another warrior that's in combat sports like himself. The only other female I can see him being with would be the girl Lime that he met before the Cell Saga fight, the one whose father was a fighter in his younger days. That is someone I could probably see him being paired with, but Videl would no longer be in the picture. Are you guys okay with that? No Videl, no Pan, no Super Saiyan God. So when Beerus would come down, their asses would be grassed, literally. But that's not the end. Those are just the cons. There are actually a lot of good pros in this outcome. One thing we can say for sure is that this Gohan would actually be far superior than the actual Gohan that we know in the Buu Saga, because this Gohan was continue to train, and at this point most likely master Super Saiyan 2, and probably would have Super Saiyan 3. So there would actually be a lot of benefit from this Gohan to be able to take over as the #1 guy, because when you think about who he would be able to train with on a regular basis, that person would actually be Vegeta. Now Piccolo would no longer be in the picture as far as a sparring partner is concerned. That would most likely be Vegeta, and those two would most likely be close, because Vegeta needs to fight somebody on a regular basis to keep his Saiyan blood boiling, because that's just in their DNA to always fight those that are strong with them. So that kind of puts the Earth in a good place if that was to ever happen. So it's not all bad, okay? And that would take them to the next villain that would come to Earth, and we know who that is: Babidi and Deborah. Now this Gohan far surpasses the regular Gohan in the Buu Saga, to the point where Deborah wouldn't even get a chance to even gather any energy to release Fat Buu. Now that could be a good thing. Kaioshin wouldn't even be necessary, because at that point they wouldn't even need the Z-Sword. Gohan would be far superior in power, that he would destroy Deborah with ease. But knowing Vegeta would probably try and fight Gohan, which would result Vegeta into becoming Majin Vegeta. Well, here we gotta kind of be honest, because when Vegeta learns there's an enemy that's this strong, I don't think he's gonna be okay with taking the easy way out. I don't think Vegeta is going to be okay with just letting this go. He wants to fight the strongest of the strongest. That's just his personality. I think he wants to match Gohan, because Gohan will obviously be stronger than him. I think he would allow Babidi to control him, and then they would actually duke it out, and then Majin Buu would be born, and it wouldn't even matter, because at this point, if Gohan was able to go Super Saiyan 3, I think he would beat Vegeta with ease. And I also believe that he would destroy Fat Buu, because even in the power scaling, Gohan would be far above Majin Buu. So he would defeat Majin Buu, and it would be peace on Earth once again. What would happen to the next villain that shows up? And you all know who that next villain is. Goku Black. Now, Goku Black, I think that would be an interesting storyline because Gohan haven't seen his dad in so long, and now he has to fight someone that looks like him. The person is the image of his father. It would be like the ultimate test to finally fight his father. Gohan versus Goku. That would actually be very good for the series. That is something that I would like to see. I think that's like the ultimate test for Gohan. And that could go all the way to for episodes. Like that would be a real test. I think that this is where he would be in trouble because now you don't have Super Saiyan God ability. Because even if you think about this, if Beerus was to come to Earth, how would they be able to perform the Super Saiyan God ritual? Because remember, Goku's not there, Pan isn't born, and even if Lion was pregnant with Gohan's child, you're still missing Goku, so you're still missing a Saiyan. Goten would be there, Trunks would be there, but that's pretty much it. I mean, you can throw in Tarble, but I don't know if that is a reliable source because he only appeared in a movie. He's not actually canon in the series, and he's mentioned, but he's not canon in the actual series. So I don't think that would work. If you want to make that canon, fine, you throw him in there, then he becomes Super Saiyan God. But I don't know. I think there's just too many loopholes in this version for Gohan to just go and be Goku's replacement. But it could work. You know, we just broke it down. It could work. There's many ways you can take this story, and I find it interesting because Dragon Ball is kind of on a hiatus right now, and I actually want to see stuff like this. I wish the producers could have other writers write these types of mangas so that we can see, but I guess we're just stuck to the fan art. That's just gonna have to do. But that's where we're gonna leave this video. I hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, then smash the like button. If you have subscribed, then subscribe and hit the top notification button. That way you can get any type of content I drop on this channel. If I get 1,000 likes, then hell, then I'll make more videos like this. And if I get over 1,000 likes, then I'll probably make more videos like this. So let me know what y'all think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you like this version of Gohan, or do you prefer the Gohan that we have currently in the timeline? So let me know what you think in the comments. If you want to argue, we can argue, and I'll see you all in the next video. This is X Conscious Worlds, and I'm out. Peace.